Viewers like you make this program possible. Support your local PBS station.
Hello, welcome to Mama's Hot Dogs.
How are you?
How you
Good,
doing?
how are y'all doing?
Look, Dad, they have Apple Jacks. We want 2 Apple Jacks.
With the sugar.
I don't want sugar on mine.
You want sugar, don't you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah.
Gotta have sugar.
Drop an Apple Jack.
All right, I got a sausage dog with mustard and chili.
Thank you. Looks good.
I noticed they had Apple Jacks on the menu, and I grew up going to a place in Deep Run called the B&S Cafe. Mom always called it the B&S Caf, and they were kind of famous for their Apple Jacks.
And they fried them in the drippings from the barbecue. That added a lot to the taste.
They did. They were a Saturday treat for the farm workers and for little Vivian. I'm Vivian, and I'm a chef. The food I cook tells the story of Southern food as I know it. But that story is more complex than I thought.
I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way. Lord, if you love me, keep me, I pray.
So I set out to find the dishes that bind and define us. Along the way, I saw that when we eat together, we share more than a meal. The American South is my classroom, and the dishes we share will be my roadmap. All right, so you're gonna work on ham pies, and we're just gonna do the apple filling in here. And we're gonna make as many as we can. I'm excited to see.
It said 500 per hour, supposedly.
Well, then we can make 500.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna roll this out. We are working on ham pies. Right now we're just doing Apple Jacks, and because we're getting ready to open a bakery that is gonna specialize in ham pies, both savory and sweet, we bought this roller, hoping that it's gonna make this more streamlined because this can be really time consuming. I'm ready.
Tight.
Oh, no. You know, the difference between our Apple Jacks and all the other ham pies I've ever had is that our dough is just much thinner and much more delicate. But let's try again. The love of Apple Jacks stuck with me. I've been honing my recipe for them for years. And it's Apple Jacks that sparked my next brilliant idea. We're gonna open an online bake shop that focuses on hand pies. But in order for it to work, in order for it to make money, I've got to figure out how to make them very, very fast. Please, please, please work. It doesn't even come close to working. So this is what I'm gonna do. There's really only one way to do it, and that's by hand. So I think I can make one in 30 seconds. Let's get a sheet tray and let's just start. So we basically did this for an hour. Let's count how many we've done.
59. That wasn't bad.
No, but we will have to figure out a better way.
I think so.
Hand pies are not new to us. We've had a hand pie on the menu at my restaurant, Chef and the Farmer, for more than a decade. But it's different when you're talking about 30 hand pies over the course of a night of service versus, let's say, 3,000 hand pies in 1 week. How are you? Good. What are these?
So it's collards, and I made like a velouté, and then ham hock and pickled collard stems.
Oh, I like that acid in there, girl. Okay, so you vacuum sealed them? Mm-hmm. I think that we need to go somewhere and try to see someone who's doing this on a large scale, because every part of our process is slow.
I keep finding ways to improve it.
No, I'm not. I'm not complaining. It's just,
look,
you know, we're doing something not many people are doing. I've heard about this company in Winston-Salem, North Carolina called B&G Pies. All of their ham pies are stuffed with a fruit filling, and you can find them in gas stations and grocery stores all over North and South Carolina. But most importantly, they've been in business a long, long time. All right, so Justice, this place makes hand pies, and from what I understand, they actually make them by hand.
Oh, well.
So my goal is to see how they make ham pies fast. I think we're averaging like one every 2 minutes or something. It ain't fast enough.
Welcome to the B&G Pie Company.
Hey!
I'm Shannon Wilson.
Like, is this your family business?
No, my former husband and I bought this company as an investment. I'm still here.
And he is not?
No.
So it's interesting, one, that you use lard, and two, that you fry them, because there's such a concern over both of those things nowadays.
There are, and I would go toe-to-toe with anyone about qualities of lard versus any hydrogenated product.
Oh, I would too.
Right?
So you've got the lard, water.
Lard, the water, then you got your flour.
So are you the dough boy?
Little everything, make doughs, cut them, fry.
All the accounting?
Yeah, all the accounting.
Oh.
Yeah. Crank it, hit start.
Is this the dough cutter?
That's the dough cutter. So this is original to the pie company, dates back to 1949. And this is the last one standing. I think at one point there were 3 of them. And Bruce has a magic touch, and no one could do this like Bruce. She'll just flour it a little bit, press it down, and then it will produce these pre-measured little trapezoids that can be rolled out.
So this is already a major time saver. So tell me about the apple filling.
So this is our apple filling, and these are Oregon apples that come to us dried. We reconstitute them, set them in nutmeg, and bring it slow up until they plump back up to full size.
I'm fighting the urge to stick my finger in some of these. And how many do they make a minute? Because that's really our issue.
1 every 12 seconds, 13 seconds. But these are skilled hands that have been doing this for a long time.
So can we go to the fryer?
Absolutely.
Take it to the grease.
This screen fits directly into our fryer, so that it'll submerge, it will fry for about 6 minutes. We will hopefully enjoy one right out of the grease. Justice, there you go.
Thank you. It is good.
I believe that these were the same pies that my grandparents used to buy. And now tasting it, like, yeah.
Oh. Everyone has a
pretty
story.
crazy.
I love that about this product. This is something that meant something to everyone. B&G started out as a lunch pail product because of all the textile jobs and the furniture jobs and the tobacco jobs. You would get one in your lunch and you would go out on your picnic table with all your buddies and you would eat your B&G pie every day. And so as those jobs have gone, I don't think B&G will ever be in that heyday again. Now it's more of a special item, it's more of a specialty item, but part of a rich history.
Nearly every culture on our planet has a ham pie. From Apple Jacks in the American South to empanadas prominent all over Central and South America, and pasties in the UK and Australia. These sustenance-filled pockets were developed out of a need to feed workers in fields, factories, and mines. Once, they represented a convenient, no-nonsense lunch or snack for laborers. Today, they stand for something else entirely. Pepperoni rolls from the northwest corner of West Virginia are a little-known example of ham pies invented out of the need for a portable, non-perishable lunch for Italian immigrants working in the mines. So we are in West Virginia. We're headed to Fairmont, West Virginia, the home of the pepperoni roll. And I am judging a pepperoni roll contest tonight. It's like the state food of West Virginia, but it has not transcended the state at all. But there's a festival this weekend in honor of the pepperoni roll, and I'm going to immerse myself in it completely. There we are, the Three Rivers Festival. Here I come.
the judges, please. This is a bake-off competition between local bakeries that have submitted their pepperoni rolls. Pepperoni rolls are to be plain with no sauce or cheese. All good?
Got it.
Is this your first time judging a pepperoni roll?
I feel so much pressure.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I already ate a pepperoni roll today.
Generally, you need a certain level of expertise when you're judging something. I don't have that when it comes to pepperoni rolls. So I've invited my friend Courtney, who's a West Virginia native and a pepperoni roll aficionado, to help me out. I'm just gonna copy yours. It's a gluten-free person's worst nightmare over here. So, are you a fan of the sticks?
I mean, I don't want to influence the judge, but I'm a fan of the stick.
All right, so this is more like a pizza crust.
Totally. Yeah.
Is that traditional?
No. So, like, this is kind of more traditional.
It's interesting because I would say that's like my favorite, but I don't know what I...
Well, that's good. You're unadulterated.
I'm a pepperoni roll virgin.
Not anymore, baby.
We love pepperoni rolls in West Virginia.
I mean, you have to double fist it when you're eating a pepperoni roll.
Which one is your favorite so far?
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay, I can see what she's looking for. This is squishy and soft. She's right.
What is your best idea of how the pepperoni roll came to be originated?
So sometime between 1927 and 1938, Giuseppe Argiro decided to combine the bread and the pepperoni into one. And the spices kind of soak into the bread to create that pepperoni roll that we know and love.
I'm gonna have some indigestion, I'm sure. So where's the author? I wanna ask her some questions. So since you're the expert, would you call this a hand pie?
What is a hand pie?
Like it's in the
hand pie,
family of like an empanada
pasty.
or an applejack. Or...
So similar interpretation, just the north central West Virginia area has a lot of Italian immigrants who came here to work in the coal mines. And a very common lunch for them was a stick of pepperoni and a piece of bread or a roll. You have one sort of utilitarian handheld meal, drink water with one hand, have their pepperoni roll in the other, and it's shelf stable, so they may be down there for a while.
Let me turn in my cards.
Oh yeah.
Who won?
And it's number 5.
She called it.
Yeah.
Vivian, tomorrow night, would you help us on stage with the professional pepperoni roll eating contest?
Sure.
But it's gonna get rather gruesome up here.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool, awesome. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, where am I looking?
Looking in the camera?
Yeah, looking straight into the lens.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I'm sorry, I keep looking away.
Y'all about to see how this is done. A hand pie is a dough pocket with really anything stuffed inside.
Any kind of pastry thing you make with your hands.
The type of pastry I don't think is very specific.
The classic fruit pie.
Put anything in a hand pie because it's really just like a pocket.
A little pockets. I think it's kind of what you want it to be.
And you hold it in your hand and it's convenient and you can eat it on the go, whatever.
Did I look away too quickly?
People may question whether or not a pepperoni roll is a hand pie, but I'm here to tell you it is. Pepperoni's the filling and it's wrapped in a dough. That is a hand pie. West Virginia folklore tells us that the first place to sell pepperoni rolls was the Country Club Bakery more than 100 years ago. But if you want to see a bakery in full swing, except for an online one, of course, you've got to get there in the middle of the night. Hello?
Oh, hi. Chris.
Chris, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is the home of the pepperoni roll?
This is the home of the original pepperoni roll.
So can I see what you're doing?
We'll show you a little bit of everything that goes on here in the morning.
In the night. This is the middle of the night. Okay. Oh my word. This is like a coffin of dough.
Right. You let it rise for roughly an hour and a half. Kill it.
We'll kill it by pushing it down.
Yeah, we'll kill the dough here.
In the coffin. Okay. This is an Italian-American tradition.
Right. I mean, we have a really heavy Italian population here. The cured meats, pepperoni, so you know what I mean? It was all made in people's homes, hanging in the cellars.
Last night there was a bake-off, and they had some sticks, slices, and then some ground up.
Right, yeah. We like to use the sticks just because the grease kind of oozes out and gives a really good flavor.
Yeah, the sticks held up the best.
Oh, you tried them all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I've had quite a few pepperoni rolls now.
She's gonna mix our dough in that mixer.
This is old equipment.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I ask people a lot that work in something very specific in the food business, whether or not they eat it.
Sure. You have to eat, yeah, sure.
What about you? Do you eat them?
Oh, yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Did you grow up here?
Yeah.
Were pepperoni rolls your go-to snack as a kid?
Of course.
How long have you worked here?
37 years.
37 years, wow.
Yeah, I kind of grew up here.
And so you work at night your whole life?
Pretty much, yes. But you know how when you got kids, you tell if they got a fever?
Yeah.
You can tell by the back of your hand. That's how I tell if
The
that's
temperature?
red. Mm-hmm. You see how much warmer that is than what it was just a few minutes ago?
I was told you would like to roll some.
I'd like to try, yeah.
Sure. Okay. So it's real simple. Put 2, roll that side over, and then 1, and then you want to roll it tight.
This will take forever.
No, it'll take 30 minutes. Josh is Misty's son.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
my aunt.
So you're her nephew?
Yeah.
You're her son?
Yep. Yeah.
Sounds like she needs a raise.
Yeah.
She's your talent pool. That's so cool. And you can see some of the pepperoni grease.
Yeah. You
seeping
hear it
out.
sizzle?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's awesome.
It should taste real fresh, a little doughy, and you should get that grease when you bite into it. Yeah.
That's good.
Thank you.
It is good fresh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So can I get some pepperoni rolls to take?
Absolutely.
We're going to see a retired coal miner.
That's 1 dozen?
Thank you very much.
No, my pleasure. Thank you.
The pepperoni roll evolved out of a coal miner's need to have a utilitarian snack or lunch down in the mines. Now, I've never met a coal miner. I've only seen them on TV and heard Loretta Lynn sing about them. So to better understand how this happened, I'm going to spend the afternoon with a third-generation retired coal miner who traded in his hard hat for a fiddle. Hi.
Hi, good morning.
What's your dog's name?
Max.
Max likes me. I thought it was the pepperoni rolls.
Yeah, it could have been.
Do you like them warm?
Oh, yeah, that was the best thing.
And you were a coal miner?
For 37 years.
Really?
And I've done just about everything you can do in the mines. In the mines, your dinner bucket went everywhere. This is a coal miner's dinner bucket.
Oh, wow.
Has water in the bottom.
Oh.
This is the way you drank water in the mines. I never remember anybody ever using a cup.
Wow. So
If you had a cup, it would probably get dirty, but if your wife really, really cared about, and my grandmother did this every day for her boys, she would make a pie.
wow, and that fits in there too.
Yes, it would fit on top. So this is a 3-layered dinner bucket. There you are.
Wow, that is so cool.
It went everywhere with you. My father's people were all from Italy.
Okay.
You know, my grandmother, she had 4 boys. 3 of them worked in the mines, and my grandfather. First thing she would do is start to make bread for their dinner bucket. There were 11 kids in my dad's family. During the Depression, they were too poor to buy a grinder. So all the kids would get around the table and just chop up pork and, you know, spices and stuff and make pepperoni.
Wow.
Make it with that's the hard way. And I never remember going in my grandmother's basement that there wasn't pepperonis and salamis and things hung up to dry. It was so handy. A sandwich, the bread gets soggy.
Yeah, it falls apart a little bit.
Right.
And
You remember, you're in a coal mine. It's dark, it's cold. They would make a little shack somewhere in the mines, and it would be furnished with whatever they could steal from wherever they could get it. It usually had a heater in it, and they would cook on these things.
Oh.
Many a time, fresh baked pepperoni rolls. And you can imagine you're in an environment where there is nothing else.
Right.
There's no horizon, and hear this smell would come down the track, and it was just like, it would draw like lemmings or whatever, you know, people would come out of the woodwork to get this stuff.
So, are you gonna play the fiddle for me?
I can.
Too bad there's not 3 other people, or I'd do a little square dance.
It's dance music. There is my grandfather, there's my dad. My dad was 17 years old when that picture was taken. My uncles, they all worked in the mines. It may have been a mandatory 12-hour day. I worked day shift a lot. All winter long, you get up in the dark, you go to work in the dark, you come home in the dark. You never see
light.
Every time you see a movie or a TV show on the coal mines, they're dead poor, go on a strike, and then the mines blows up. Most of the time, you're just somebody going to work, you do a tremendous amount of work, physical work, joke with your buddies, and come home.
Woo, that was awesome. Be at one end and I'll be at the other?
You'll be at the other end.
Okay.
When the girls hand you a plate, it's important that we keep 3 full plates of buns in front of every eater.
Okay.
So don't grab her plate because they'll break your arm, because that's how they count.
Are you ready? Come on! I haven't lost my voice yet! 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go! Crank it up! Crank it up, everybody! That's what we like to hear, yeah! 9 rolls for Mickey! 9 rolls for Mickey! Let's bring it home! Let's go! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The pepperoni roll eating champion of the world for the 2nd year running, 36 pepperoni rolls in 10 minutes. He is your champion for 2 years in a row.
When most people around the globe think about a ham pie, they're certainly not thinking about a pepperoni roll or even an Applejack. I would imagine what comes to mind is an empanada. And most of the empanadas I've eaten have been savory, so when I put a ham pie on the menu at the restaurant, I often think about the savory notes I know from empanadas and combine that with the sweetness I love from Applejacks. So I'm working on a filling for a hand pie. This filling represents my place. It's got muscadine grapes, which are not an ingredient you see really outside a particular part of the Southeast. Air-dried sausage, which is very particular to this part of the world, and scallions. So it makes sense to put something inside the ham pie that speaks to where I am. And at this moment in time, there's nothing more representative of Eastern North Carolina than muscadine grapes. So it's funny because what I know ham pies to be historically are things that you eat on the go, things that you eat because they're convenient, but I tell you, they are a pain in the rear to make. We have tried to figure out ways to do it quicker. There's no way to really cut corners and do it fast. And I'm certainly not doing it fast with this filling because muscadine grapes are notorious for being difficult to work with. They have a very thick skin and they have seeds. I guess what I'm saying is this is going to be one hell of a special hand pie. Hey, Jose.
Hey, what you got?
An empanada for the menu that's got muscadine grapes and air-dried sausage, scallions, and mustard. I've known Jose since he was a preteen. He started here as a busser, then he became a server, next a host, and now he's the bartender. Did you grow up eating empanadas?
Empanadas are something that she would usually make maybe like on the weekends.
Because it's a lot of work.
It does take a little bit of time.
I have this like long-standing love affair with empanadas because I went to school in Argentina and I was in a car accident the first week I got there. I dropped out of school. My parents they didn't know that. And I eventually decided that the only thing I was good at in Argentina was eating, and I became obsessed with empanadas. It was gonna be my life's goal to open an empanada shop called Viviana's Empanadas.
That's crazy. I love it though. That's cute. That's real cute.
So what are you up to?
We're just setting up the bar.
You got any muscadine cocktails on there? How do you like bartending?
It's a lot of fun. It's definitely a new environment for me.
Look at you.
Right to the brim. I like this industry, but I'm not sure if it's where I want to end up. I've been thinking a lot about doing translation jobs now, but there's a lot of families out there that really need help. Migrant farm workers, Hispanics, Latinos. I went in with my dad when I was around 14, and I lied to the farmer and I told him that I was 16. We were there at 5 in the morning. We didn't leave late at night. I didn't like it.
I mean, I grew up on a tobacco farm, and when I was a kid, my whole family worked in tobacco. But then when, I was like maybe 7, 8, or 9, a lot of Latinos started moving into Lenoir County and working in the fields.
But working in a family farm is really much different than working for another farmer.
Yeah. When he's not at Chef and the Farmer, Jose helps lead a local youth group who supports Latino farm worker families. And Latinos are not new to Eastern North Carolina. When I was a kid, they came here for work. Sometimes they stayed, many times they didn't. But in the last decade, a ton of Latino families have chosen to make Eastern North Carolina home. And now, you're just as likely to find a taco stand as you would a barbecue shack in any small town here. This Festival Latina is a perfect example of our community's evolution. So, what are y'all gonna get to eat?
You want a taco? We'll see you in a little bit.
Que se oiga bien clarito quién manda en casa. ¡Arriba las mujeres!
I see a lot of families here, but I also see groups of men coming together.
A lot of those people are probably H-2A workers. They're people who get hired to come over here to the U.S. for just a little while, work a couple of months during harvesting seasons, and then after a while, they go back.
I feel like the Latino population in the whole country is fearful of gathering at this particular moment in time.
Things have just been kind of escalating a little bit within the past couple of months. Celebrating in an open space like this, it's almost like a moment of safety.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a celebration, what are they gonna do? It's kind of like one of those things.
Yeah, yeah.
¿Empanadas? ¿Quieren empanadas?
Ya.
De chorizo con frijoles.
Muchas gracias.
Sí, está muy rica, sí.
Oh my.
Hola.
Hola.
¿Quiere una empanada? Es mi especialidad. Están muy ricas.
May I have one?
¿Puede tener una?
Yes.
Sí.
Una, dos.
También.
I love the chicken one.
Me tocó de chicken. Está bien buena la de pollo también.
Thank you.
Sí.
Wow, what a treat. Lauren. Sorry. You found the empanadas.
I did find the empanadas. Yeah, this is delicious.
What do you think of these empanadas?
Oh my gosh, they're so good.
They're
They're
good.
so
They are
good. I
good.
love that they're wheat flour. They really remind me of the empanadas my grandma makes.
Lauren is a food journalist friend of mine whose work zeroes in on all things empanada. I thought all Mexican empanadas kind of had a corn masa shell.
No, not always. A lot of the empanadas toward northern Mexico actually use wheat flour because corn doesn't actually grow in that climate as well as it does down south.
And your grandmother's from where?
She's in South Texas in Corpus Christi. Our ancestry was Jewish. So our family was down in South Texas when South Texas was still Mexico. And then when that border shifted, we all of a sudden became Americans.
Wow, that's not a piece of history we really think about, like the border moved on you.
On us, yeah.
So what's in her empanadas?
So she does an empanada that we call a turco. So they're made with pork that is cooked 3 times, and then they mix it with minced meat and a ton of spices.
You gotta connect me with your grandma.
I sure can. Yeah, no, she would love it. Yeah.
And your mom is head of the dance troupe.
My mom is head of Ballet Folclórico de Colores, which is children ages 3 to 18, and so it's a 4-H club.
Here, let's go see the dancers. Lauren and her mom invited me to their house in Goldsboro to learn how to make their family's empanada, since Grandma's in town. Actually, I think I kind of invited myself, but either way, I'm excited.
Hi, Vivian, how are you?
I'm good.
Come
How
on
are
in.
you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hi.
This is my mom, Sarah Flores.
Nice to meet you. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, Vivian, how are you?
I'm good. Did you come up from Texas?
Yes, from Corpus Christi.
I see some equipment.
We have tortilla presses to make the turcos.
It's a very Jewish recipe that we use. There's a lot of history about that of them coming to South Texas because of the Inquisition.
Columbus came. He claimed South Texas and northern Mexico, and this is going to be the new Spain. Our family was awarded 30,000 acres.
Wow.
But they were of Jewish ancestry, and you had to be Catholic.
But if you
still
stayed
had the culture.
Jewish in Spain, you were going to get killed. So you kind of didn't have a
There's no
choice.
option. The other thing was you could not mix with the Indians. You had to stay pure Spanish. So you will see that we're very fair. Then as the years progressed, they were mixing, people were mixing, and that's when the border divided at the Rio Grande River, made Texas what it is. We had family in Mexico,
Both sides.
and we had family in Texas.
And we still do.
So where do you start?
So we're gonna start with the cinnamon anise tea, which helps to flavor the dough.
Oh, wow.
Take some Mexican cinnamon and...
The main ingredient is pork.
But pork is so not kosher.
There was not a whole lot of beef in the region to eat. Pork was king. So we're gonna put first the minced meat.
What is in mincemeat?
It is apples and raisins, orange peel.
And there's meat in it, right there, beef.
This is so gross.
No, it is, I know. So we'll pop in apples. This just continues to add to the sweetness and the flavoring.
And you said these were empanadas people would make around the holidays.
Now they would be made around the holidays. They're a celebration food for sure. They were originally made for the ranchers to take out in their saddlebags, and they were about the size of your hand.
They were hand pies.
They were hand pies, yeah. So the spices that go in this mix are definitely derived from Turkey. We have allspice, then we have some cinnamon. The sweetener is piloncillo, which is basically dark brown sugar, and then the cores of this we pop in the tea to melt at the very end.
I think it's so smart to use a flavorful liquid to make the dough.
Yeah.
In all of my cooking, I'm like, don't add water, add something with flavor, but not when I make dough.
Hand pies are really a labor of love for the laborers.
Yes.
There's a lot of work that goes in to make sure that those that are working have an easy and filling meal when they're on the job.
This is my favorite filling that we've had. And I've had a lot of hand pies recently.
So we're gonna get the Crisco cut in, flavor up our dough. So we're gonna add the cinnamon anise tea in, and we're gonna just work that in with our hand.
Roll it into little balls like this, and they're called testales.
For testicles.
For testicles, right.
And then we smash them.
Oh, good.
Like so. And then you fill them, I can get it in here. And you close them, and you can crimp them like this.
Oh, look at, oh my gosh.
That's the skill.
That is
And
so.
it's just one little
Twist and pinch.
I'm not even passing this down there. I'm putting it in my pocket. I'm putting my hand pie in my pocket. And y'all are
right.
of European
descent.
descent.
And my mom, she was one of the fairest of her siblings, and so if they were going to go get burgers after a Friday night football game, they'd send my mom.
They would wait
The
on her.
establishment would wait on her. Otherwise, they won't wait on you if your skin was dark. It's almost like the Indian caste system. Just like in a lot of things, fair skin
is a plus.
Is a plus. It can be very complicated. When I first started our traditional Mexican dance group, they deal with a lot of racism, prejudice. People think that you can't speak English.
Yeah, additionally, these kids, there's a lot of code switching that they do. At school, they try to appear as white as possible so they fit in. And at home, they get to be Latino. They get to speak their language, they get to eat their foods. But that part of them here in Eastern North Carolina is never really seen in the public.
And I'm always afraid.
Always afraid that ICE is going to raid where they work.
Or the kids are going to come home from school and mom and dad will have been deported. That is a genuine,
That is a genuine
everyday fear.
Grandma, you want a turco?
That is good. It's almost like a cookie wrapped around sweet meat. I would love if it's okay to take 3 of them with me to share with my husband and my 2 kids.
You can
take more than 3. All that you want.
Well, not all, but at least.
My favorite kind of ham pie, if you would call it that, is called a panzerotti. It's stuffed pizza dough with cheese or meat.
It's called sviha. So it's savory dough, ground beef, and pine nuts.
My grandmother's sweet potato turnover.
Sweet beef, empanada de carne.
Just a simple mojo chicken.
Cubes of steak and a gravy.
Mango and a fried dough. Like shredded beef situation.
Not a big savory eater of popovers. I'd much rather have a nice sweet potato. God, that was horrible.
Ham pies represent the story of the people who make them. My friend Sandra Gutierrez is an empanada whisperer, if you will, and I'm hoping she can help me better understand hand pie history.
Hello, Vivian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good to see you.
Where are these empanadas from?
It's a South American empanada place. But the fascinating thing looking at their menu is all the new Southern Latino versions that they have here. They have a shrimp and grits empanada.
You guys ready to order?
So we're gonna try a beef.
Okay.
And definitely a Colombian empanada.
The shrimp and grits and corn and cheese.
That'll remind you of Argentina.
All right, this is your corn.
And that looks like an Argentine. So you're like the resident expert on empanadas. I mean, you literally wrote the book on it.
I did. I wrote the book.
So when we talk about empanadas, it's always a semicircle pastry filled with something?
No.
Okay.
So, empanada means to encase in bread. And empanadas come in all different shapes and sizes. So in Bolivia, for instance, you'll have the salteña, which is an empanada, looks like a football. It can be as big as my hand. I mean, it's just, they're enormous. In Brazil, they're called pastéis. They look identical to Pop-Tarts. As long as it's encased and there's a filling in it, it's called an empanada.
Okay.
So the original empanada was in what is today modern-day Iran, called esfijas. It was a portable way for Muslims who were traveling on the Ottoman Empire, but the original was thick and crusty because you would have a place to hold it from if your hands were dirty, and after you would eat it, you would just throw that part of the crust away.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool? And the Ottoman Empire, takes over Spain for about 8 centuries. Once it arrives to Spain, the name empanada is coined.
And it comes from the word pan. Say that.
Pan.
Pan, yes.
Pan, yeah.
That one.
Which comes from the word panis in Latin. So
Which
it's
is
all bread.
bread.
It's all bread. The original empanadas that come to Latin America in the 1500s are basically a meat empanada that has raisins and olives. That is the Muslim Moorish tradition.
And also 2 of the most polarizing ingredients that exist.
But that they work, right?
Yeah.
But it's the fact that it's a pie, so it's encased in some kind of pastry or bread, and that you can just eat it with your hand, which to me is, finger food is the most fun food that there is. It's happy food.
Ham pies like empanadas, Apple Jacks, and pepperoni rolls have been feeding workers for centuries. That's what they're meant for, and the same is true today. Today, People buy ham pies from food trucks and office parks and take them back to their cubicles because ham pies allow you to eat while you type. Boricua Soul makes empanadas that are both Puerto Rican and Southern.
What is mollo chicken?
It's a slow roasted chicken in oranges. It's inside the empanada. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Yes? Okay.
Boricua.
Boricua.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Very
How are
nice to
you?
meet
I'm
you.
Vivian.
Toriana, very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
So
you.
it's Boricua.
Boricua.
Yeah,
Okay, I
Boricua
can do
Soul.
that. It's like from the song Boricua.
Yeah, exactly. Think of
So you're from North Carolina?
No. I grew up in the Bronx, New York. Tori's from Connecticut. He moved to Florida. I moved to North Carolina, and then we met in Florida. I say he's like a shot glass. I went to Florida on vacation. I brought back a husband.
Serena's grandmother's from Puerto Rico. We were cooking a lot of these things and mixing them up. So I started putting barbecue in empanadas.
And I thought that was the worst thing you could do. It was like you were destroying an empanada. Originally, Toriano is a full-time merchant mariner. So he's home 30 days and gone 30 days. He works offshore on an oil rig. And so I'd be getting up in the morning and going to work, and he's like, I'm gonna shove some barbecue in an empanada and enter it in the state fair. And I'd be like, you are crazy.
I sent a picture of my ribbon that I won, second place. It's like, uh-huh.
Well, how did you decide to do this?
It's like, okay, I don't want to go to sea anymore. I want to be home with Serena. Our son is, at the time, maybe he was 4 years old, and I'm realizing that I'm missing so much of it. And so that started to become unacceptable for us. And we're like, we have something, we have an idea. Let's start it.
And what do people think when they see an empanada with barbecue?
I think it's part of the New South. I've been here now 13 years, and when I first moved here, you couldn't get Puerto Rican food anywhere. And so I know even for like myself, when I first moved down, a lot of people would look at me and be like, are you Lumley Indian? Are you Black, Puerto Rican? So you're Puerto Rican, so you're Mexican,
Right.
And so you kind of have to hold someone's hand and walk them through the menu and really explain, and it's what I enjoy the most about being in the window. Good morning, how are you today?
I'm good. What type of meat is in your empanada?
So we have a traditional beef, we have a chicken, and then we have the greens, beans, and queso.
Chicken empanadas, the collard greens.
And a side of collards.
This is collard greens, black-eyed peas, and queso fresco. It's delicious. There's like nothing really more southern than collard greens and black-eyed peas. This is the traditional Puerto Rican one. It's got ground beef. The crust is so thin.
When we went to Puerto Rico last year, there's a bunch of little roadside stands, and they were like cranking them out for
Do
us.
they use like a tortilla press or anything?
No,
to-
they're doing them fork and all, and they're fast. I was kind of like, I might need to spend a couple of days here
Right.
just to get their
Their
technique,
technique. I think it's called practice.
down. I think so.
As I said before, ham pies tell us the story of the people who make them, but they also tell us a lot about the ingredients from the place they're made. Hey.
Hey, Vivian. How you doing?
Hey.
Oscar.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Enter Oscar Diaz, a recent James Beard semifinalist for Best Chef Southeast. When it's an ambitious, season-driven chef folding your pie, you get a snapshot of who he is and where he comes from. You cook Mexican food, right?
I never really officially worked at a Mexican restaurant until I opened Jose and Son. So,
Really?
But that worked out. I mean, I grew up eating Mexican. I would go to Mexico all the time. So I have a general idea, but I think when I cook, it's liberating. It's kind of like I feel free. I try to just stay creative and use what's available and just make flavors that I think are good.
So what are you gonna get today?
Today, we're gonna get a couple things for the restaurant. I wanna get some peppers, some tomatoes, and corn. I'll take 10 and I'll just put them in this bag.
What kind is this?
Devotion, very sweet. One of your super sweets.
It's super
massive.
sweet. So you said you never worked in a Mexican restaurant before you were at the helm of one.
With Mexican food, it was in me. So like I think once I learned how to cook, things that I grew up eating, it was really
I was
easy.
gonna say, you grew up eating Mexican
Yeah, and I
food.
mean, I was always hungry, so I always kind of was around the kitchen. And then just to make it a little more complicated, I started mixing in Southern food, which I was new to the South, so I just went around and started eating like as much grits as I could, because I didn't know what grits were. I didn't know what hush puppies were. Like after, a couple rounds of eating grits, I remember feeling like it was Christmas, Because like in Christmas, we eat a lot of tamales, but it was like kind of like that same feeling. And I'm like, this is basically masa. And that's when I started seeing a lot of crossovers, like pulled pork is a lot like cochinita. To me, it just became kind of cool to mesh them together. That's kind of what I've always done my whole life. I've been Mexican-American, and I've had to find the line to walk between that, like, you know.
Like who you are.
Yeah, so, and I mean, an identity is something that I didn't realize I was in search of for a long time. In Mexico, I would be considered an American. In America, sometimes people consider me Mexican. In the South, I'm a Northerner. In the North, you know, they're like, so it's like, I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna take that confusion and use it to my benefit and do what I wanted.
What Oscar does, the way he pushes the boundaries around what's Mexican food and what's Southern food, is different than the thing people in this business sneer at and call fusion. Oscar's food is distinct and authentic in its own right because it reflects how he sees himself as both Mexican and Southern. This is a beautiful space.
Thank you, thank you.
What are you gonna make me?
So today we're doing enchiladas potosinas.
But we're making a ham pie. Like, when I think of enchiladas, I think of something that's baked in a casserole.
In Mexico, they have different kinds of enchiladas. And this enchilada, I think, is like the forgotten one, unless you're like from San Luis. But this really eats like a ham pie. So we've been taking corn that's of this region in North Carolina. From this point, you have to nixtamalizar it, which means you cook it in lime. Then you run it through the mill, and you end up with this. So that's like a basic masa. And I thought that was like a Spanish word, but apparently that's the word for it. Like
There's no other translation?
No, it's nixtamales. I don't know.
I'm not even gonna try.
So what we do is put that there, and this is just a tortilla. This is what you would make a classic tortilla.
But it has chili in it.
Yeah, it has chilies. That's the arbol. That one has a lot of heat, but you wouldn't be able to get a good color before you're like burning people's mouths off. So you use the guajillo to kind of give it body and color. Blend it with a little bit of garlic, and you get this sauce.
What a beautiful sauce.
Isn't it pretty? We're putting it directly into the masa. All right, I press it down, and then I'm gonna turn it and press it again. So if you leave it, this side's gonna be thicker.
Oh,
so you turn around so it kind of gets even on both sides.
Let's see, okay.
This is the mix of the queso fresco, charred chilies. We'll just grab a little bit of that, and I'm gonna try not to overstuff it.
Because we always want to put
I know,
more.
like I really want to put so much in this.
It
but
looks like nothing in there.
It does. I always feel like that's it. But we'll just go like this, and then you're just gonna kind of pinch off the sides a little bit.
All the ham pies we've looked at, it ends up being as much about the dough as the inner part.
Yeah, I think it really is a harmony between all of it.
You're kind of shallow frying these?
Yeah, but what you want is you want that flavor of the sauce to kind of like fry up and seal into the tortilla is really what you're going for.
I can see some of that cheese creeping out of the edges.
Cheese is coming out.
Which makes me really happy.
Because now you fried it a little bit, and the inside's gonna stay a little bit soft, so it's gonna eat like crunchy soft, if that makes sense. I'll call Charlie, my business partner, to come over and join us. Oh, there he is. Charlie's joining us.
Hey, everybody. Let's give these a try.
All right. I brought a little bit of the original sauce we put in the masa just to kind of give it a shot. Obviously, sour cream.
Awesome. Now, if this lights me on fire, you're gonna pay. I'll put this to balance.
There you go.
That's good. It is like crunchy soft.
Right?
Because like the edges are really crunchy and then the inside is pillowy and like the filling has become part of the masa almost.
My aunt, my tia Maria de la Luz, taught my mom how to make these, and it's funny because it is something that's only from that region. We're both from Jalisco. We have very similar upbringings, like first-generation Americans. Parents are from Jalisco.
Charlie, Oscar's business partner, comes from a family of Mexican restaurateurs who own and operate a string of spots all over North Carolina called El Rodeo. Your family's the El Rodeo family.
Yeah, so that was the very beginnings of restaurants in North Carolina for us. I kind of got to grow up as a restaurant brat.
Like, what kind of things would you find on the menu?
You always find like crunchy tacos, you know, wet burritos with like a tomato sauce, enchiladas. A lot of it is just, yeah, food that's been kind of catered to more of an American palate.
Definitely not this.
No, these things get lost for sure.
Unlike their parents' generation, Charlie and Oscar don't cook to please gringo palates. Instead, the menu at the Cortez shows us what it looks like when the next generation is woven into the fabric of a place, and that place is a part of them.
We can tell a story through food that is kind of making sense about how we're evolving as people as well, especially in the United States. Younger generations come from Mexican descent. They're not gonna be as connected to Mexico as we got so lucky to be able to go to that country. And so we have a lot of food memories, a lot of nostalgia.
I remember my brother and I, when we were younger, we'd go to Mexico. One time my older brother was like, You ever realize that like basically like what people call rednecks in the U.S. is like kind of the way we are like in Mexico? The terminology, cowboy boots,
the music, yes,
pickup
I know
trucks.
the music.
I remember my cousins, I would go visit them in Mexico and they were all hunting raccoons.
Yeah.
And I hear in North Carolina, people hunt for those types of things too. And once again, it's all just telling the story of like what it's looking like for being Latino, being Mexican, and being in the South.
We're like first generation. There was no way to like understand how people view you or what they think of you. I mean, like constantly people would tell me like, oh, your English is pretty good. And I'm like, I was born in Chicago. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird to, and so that's where it's like, you're not offended, but it's like, oh, I'm different, And again, they're trying to take you out of something that you feel you're part of. I mean, Raleigh is home for me now. When we opened here like 2 years ago, that's when I had that realization where like, I'm from here. Like, wherever I've been before, yes, Chicagoan, yes, Mexican heritage, but like, this is home.
Oscar's hand pie calls on ingredients specific to where he lives in North Carolina. At the same time, it connects the dots to his Mexican heritage. It reminds me of Lauren's family's turcos, stuffed with pork rather than beef, because pork is what they had. These family histories parallel the Italian housewives who baked pepperoni into yeast rolls for their husbands to eat when they mined coal to fuel the new country they called home. Labors of love and expressions of love for our laborers, hand pies, and to some degree, all the foods we cook are what we carry with us. This food defines a piece of who we are. It's shaped by where we land and the work we do when we get there. A pasta machine rolls out the dough by bringing these rollers closer and closer together. Just make it smaller every time you feed it through. So the challenge with this dough is that it does not have like the elasticity that a pasta dough would have. Now when I'm pulling this through here, it's not really holding up. That's not gonna work. Okay, I'm just gonna roll them out. Okay, so I didn't discover that magic bullet that's gonna allow me to make hand pies super fast. Instead, I think I'm gonna have to practice and practice more, and then you'll probably find me practicing. Because what I learned is that there's no shortcut. People can taste the love in something made by hand. And it is called a freaking hand pie, right?